Hey friends, Ash here. Hope that you're doing well. It's time to take a look at another Lattafa fragrance. This time it is the Kingdom. The Kingdom of what? Lattafa, I guess. The Kingdom of Lattafa. I bought this one from JOMASHOP for $27.99, and unfortunately, since I bought my bottle, it's gone up in price. It has indeed risen. The kingdom has risen. And if you want this now, as of this video, it's gonna cost you $28.99. It went up $1. So yeah, just skyrocketing in value. Sure am glad I got mine when I did. I wouldn't have to pay a whole extra $1. So as usual, this is a cologne fragrance from Lattafa, and it smells quite similar to a fragrance that a lot of you are gonna be familiar with. This one right here, Elixir, which is a personal favorite of mine. Oh, that's weird. I'm staring at like a butt. Just over here like, ooh, wait. So yeah, this one is a clone of Elixir. The question is, as always, is it any good? Is it worth the 28, 29 bucks that you will have to pay to pick up this masterpiece of bottle iconography, topography, architecturally? We'll see. I'll have this one linked in the description. Feel free to check it out down yonder. And if you do shop at JOMASHOP, here's some codes you can use to save money, but they do have to be used within the app, which I'll be honest here, when I purchased my bottle, I did in fact use one of my codes. So it wasn't exactly $27.99 after the code. It was like 27.20 something. I don't remember. I saved like 70 cents. Let's kick things off as we always do by taking a look at the presentation, and then we can jump into La Fragrance. Here we have the box. On the front, you have the name of the house, name of the fragrance, the size and the concentration, Eau de Parfum 100 ml. On the spine of the box, you have this little story, a smidge of a story. I will read it to you. All right, kids, gather around the fireplace. Get your marshmallows, put them on your sticks. Let's go ahead and cook a s'more while we read about the kingdom.
Within the chapters of history lies the timeless essence of a kingdom, a story of power, resilience, unity, and leadership, where people stand tall and strong, courageous and confident. As we journey through the future, may we lead with wisdom, inspire with courage, and build with ambition.
Okay, there we go. Story time's over. It started off with the timeless essence of a kingdom, a story of power, resilience. I was thinking we were going somewhere there, but then it was just like, as we journey through the future, maybe lead with wisdom. What? I want to know about the dragons, bro. What happened to the kingdom? A story of power, resilience, unity, and leadership. Give me some of the drama, spill some tea. You know, like Game of Thrones, something happening here. Instead it was just like a little happy dip. On the back of the box, we have some ingredients. We got your little sticker of authenticity and your barcode. And then on the bottom, we have the batch code. Mine was made in June. Got a little pull tab right here. If you pull that tab, that's a pull tab, it opens up like so. And you have your little cutout for your bottle to sit right inside there. This is a magnetic closure, by the way, check that out. Not as good as a magnetic cap, but a magnetic box, what does that count for? Half a point, maybe. On the inside flap here, you've got the notes. Top, sage, lavender, mint. Heart, tobacco, vanilla, orange flower. Base, benzoin, tonka, labdanum. Bottle time. On the front of the bottle, you got the name of the fragrance. You also have Lattafa on the front of the cap. It looks okay, I guess. You've got all these like little faux crystals around the edge, so it's kind of like they took a look at the Club de Nuit packaging and they were like, yo dog, we can do more crystals than that. Crystals all around the edge, dude, let's go. And it's also ribbed, the bottle is ribbed. Actually, the back of the bottle very much reminds me of the Tresardi Riflesso bottle. So if you're familiar with that one, essentially it feels the same way as the back of the Riflesso bottle. And it does double as a washboard. Just not a very loud one. On the bottom, you have your sticker and your cap does click in place. What do you say we do a couple sprays? Here we go. Nice. Let's do a couple sprays of Elixir over here. There we go. Ooh. Even better. First off, let's talk really quickly about the price points here. At full retail, Elixir for a 4.2 ounce size bottle is gonna run you a little over 150 bucks. More specifically, 152, which is kind of a random price point. You know, you would think they would do 150 or 149.99, but no, 152. This size right here, 2.5 ounces or 75 mils, is gonna run you 119. See, that feels like a more normal number, but what do I know? At discounters, as of this video, the larger size bottle you can find for 120 or so, assuming it's in stock. And then the smaller bottle, about 95 bucks or so. Now that is gonna fluctuate a little bit depending on the discounter. Some discounters might have it a little bit less than that, especially if they're running a special sale or something. Some might have it a little more than that, but that gives you a general range of what you're looking at if you wanna pick this one up. Again, in the US. The Kingdom over here, I already gave you the price point on that one. It's a 100 mils, so it kind of splits the size between the 2.5 or the 4.2 ounce size bottle of the Jean Paul Gaultier. But you could say that this one is roughly 3 to 3.5 times less than the Jean Paul Gaultier. So there's your price difference. What about the smell? What is the smell difference? So when you first spray these on, there is a little difference, which is that the Kingdom, to me, is a little more aromatic. So you get more of that like mint off the top, a little bit more of that green aspect of the fragrance, which is obviously not the focal point of the scent. So don't think that it's like some massive difference where, oh, this is really green and this one's not. That's not the case. You just get a little more of that aromatic touch coming through in the Kingdom compared to Le Male Elixir when you spray them on side by side. Le Male Elixir has a bit of a deeper opening to it, I would say, a little more body to it. You have more of that almost powdery aspect to Le Male Elixir. You don't get so much of that in the Kingdom. And you settle into the vanilla part of the fragrance quicker in the Kingdom. So it doesn't have honey as a note, but you get this like almost honeyed vanilla aspect that comes through quicker in the Kingdom, whereas you have more of that lingering powder in Le Male Elixir, which I know Le Male Elixir is not an overly powdery fragrance or anything, but you get a little more of that comes out here versus here. And even into the dry down, that sweetness, that vanilla sweetness, it gets almost like a touch caramelly as well as it dries down. Is that a word, caramelly? Nice caramel aspect to it in the Kingdom. So when you hit the dry down, it takes that part on as well. It's almost chewy to an extent. It's got this like really sexy gourmand sweetness to it. So there are differences here from the opening into the dry down. Initially a little bit more aromatic, but that quickly changes, talking about the Kingdom, and takes on more of that vanilla, tonka, caramel, semi-honey, with that tobacco as well working through all those sweet notes, obviously kind of a pipe tobacco. Whereas with Le Male Elixir, as it dries down, you get more of that tonka that comes out, almost like hay-like to an extent. You know, again, that semi-powdery touch that it has. But these differences, even though I'm talking about them here, pointing them out, not massive, not night and day. This is a very obvious clone of Le Male Elixir. There's no mistaking what this is when you spray it on. And it's extremely well done. So the Kingdom is gonna be one of those ones that I imagine a lot of people are gonna be talking about, because as far as being a replacement for Le Male Elixir, if you're on a budget, yeah, darn good one. There's also Rayhan Elixir, which I got right here. This one right here. Rayhan Elixir is an alternative to Le Male Elixir, a clone of Le Male Elixir. And I would say if this were cheaper than this, then you could maybe check it out. But it's actually a JOMASHOP more expensive than the Kingdom, and I think the Kingdom is better than Rayhan Elixir. So the Kingdom is a richer fragrance overall. It has a little more oomph to it. Better performance for me as well, better projection, better longevity than Rayhan Elixir. And with it being a few bucks less, I think it's kind of a no-brainer between this and this. Then I also had Grandeur Tribal Gold, which is in the other room, but that's a clone of Le Male Elixir. That's the first one I got, and the Kingdom's better than that too. And I just touched on this, the performance, but yeah, the Kingdom projects really well, lasts a long time. And where it's cheap, if you want to, you can go heavy with it, but you don't need to. The same as Le Male Elixir. It's a fall, wintertime fragrance. For me, daytime or nighttime, but for most people, they'd probably say leans evening use. There's really nothing bad about it either. Like, the opening is smooth right away. It doesn't have an off-putting opening. It doesn't fall apart as it dries down. There's nothing in this where you smell it and you go, oh, this is clearly worse than that part of this fragrance, which I've reviewed a few different clone fragrances here recently, most of them on the Extra Gents channel, but A lot of them have had parts that I didn't really like. Like there was a fragrance of Platine Privé that I reviewed that just didn't really do it for me, wasn't very good. A couple other fragrances from Lattafa that were, you know, good, but there were better things out there or kind of funky in a way and just not that pleasant. So I've went through like 3 or 4 here recently where I was like, oh, that's not that good, that's not that good, that's not that good. And then got this one, it is that good. This stuff is great. If you like Le Male Elixir, you will love the Kingdom. That's just how it is. And I am a huge fan of Le Male Elixir. But if I were looking for this on the budget, you know, I couldn't afford this or I didn't want to use this, I didn't want to use it all up, whatever. This is the first and only place I'd look. I do think if you already own, you know, Rayhan Elixir, you already own Tribal Gold, is it worth getting this one too? You know, probably not. It's gonna be really redundant. But if you want what I feel like is the best cheap alternative to this right now, it's this, hands down. So there we go, guys. That's Lattafa, the Kingdom. Unfortunately, story here, not that great, guys. Work on this. Give me a little something extra. Give me some lore. As we journey through the future, may we lead with wisdom. Get out of here. I want to hear about swords and sandals, brother. All right? Conan the Barbarian. Can you give me a little Conan action? You know what I'm saying? Just chopping heads off, getting with the women's, you know what I'm saying? That's a bit much. If you have smelled the Kingdom, let me know what you think about it. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.